I used to think rest was a waste of time until burnout forced me to stop and everything changed. I remember one morning, sitting at my desk, coffee in one hand, phone in the other, checking emails before I even blinked. I had a to do list packed with things I didn't even want to do, but I still felt like I hadn't done enough. That was my normal. And I thought that was just how life worked until it didn't. I started missing deadlines, waking up tired, and dreading even the smallest tasks. At first, I thought I just needed better time management, but what I really needed was to stop, to rest, and to finally allow myself to just be. We live in a world that glorifies hustle, where doing more, producing more, achieving more has become the gold standard. We're constantly being fed with messages like maximize your time, wake up at 5 a.m. to be successful, don't waste a single minute. And every day, there is a new app telling us how to optimize ourselves even more, how to track, measure, analyze, and push through. It's like we have started viewing our lives through the lens of productivity software. And somewhere along the way, we forgot that we're not machines. We're not meant to be switched on 24/7. We're not meant to produce from morning till night, endlessly efficient, constantly occupied, always reachable, and forever on the go. We are human beings, not human doings. And that distinction, it's everything. For the longest time, I didn't understand this. When I first started working, I genuinely thought that to be valuable, I had to be productive all the time. That rest was something I had to earn. That if I ever slowed down, I'd somehow fall behind. So I filled every spare second of my day. Multitasking became second nature. Even on my lunch break, I'd squeeze in calls or clean out my inbox. My life looked efficient on the outside, but inside, I felt drained, completely and utterly worn out. I ignored the early signs of burnout, the fatigue, the lack of inspiration, the heaviness in my chest, until one day, it all caught up to me. I missed deadlines. I took unplanned days off, not because I wanted to, but because my body and mind refused to keep going. And I felt guilty for resting because rest to me felt like failure. But the truth hit me in that quiet, uncomfortable space I had avoided for so long. Doing nothing was not a waste of time. It was exactly what I needed. There's this quote I love: almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including yourself. It's such a simple idea, but so deeply true. When I finally allowed myself to unplug, something shifted. I gave myself permission to just be without guilt, and slowly I realized that rest wasn't a pause from life, it was a part of life. I began carving out pockets of stillness, not big dramatic changes, but little, gentle pauses woven into my day, like sitting by the window with a cup of tea, no phones, no plans, or going for a walk without my AirPods in, just listening to the birds and distant chatter of life around me, or even lighting a candle and staring at the flickering flame, letting my thoughts wander wherever they wanted. And something magical happened. When I returned to work, I felt more focused, more creative, more alive. Rest didn't make me lazy, it made me better. Ironically, when I stopped pushing myself so hard, everything still got done. But this time, without exhaustion, without resentment, and with so much more presence. Maybe this is your sign, a gentle reminder that it's okay to slow down, that doing nothing for a while might be the most healing thing you can do today. You don't have to earn your rest. You don't have to wait until you're burnout to give yourself a break. You don't need anyone's permission to sit still and be quiet. You're allowed to pause, to lay on your bed and stare at the ceiling, to take a deep breath and not immediately jump into action, to let the world move without you for a moment. Because you matter, even when you're not doing anything. I know it's hard sometimes, especially when you live in a world that constantly tells you that resting is a luxury, that slowing down is falling behind, that if you're not producing, you're not worthy. But let me tell you, your worth is not tied to how busy you are. You're allowed to have slow days, quiet days, messy days, and even completely unproductive days. You're still enough on those days. You're still doing okay. So today, I invite you to try something small. Maybe after this video ends, don't jump into the next task. Just sit for a minute or two or maybe 10. Let your thoughts be what they are. Let the silence fill the space. Feel the weight of your body supported by the chair. Listen to the quiet hum of your surroundings. Maybe even step outside for a moment and just breathe in the air. Not for a purpose, not to check it off a list, but simply to be alive, to exist, to feel. And if your mind resists, that's okay too. We're so used to doing all the time that just being can feel uncomfortable. But the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. You'll begin to notice things that you hadn't before. The rhythm of your breath, the subtle light changes in your room, the way your thoughts soften when you're not rushing them. And you might just start to carve those quiet moments, not because they're productive, but because they're peaceful. And peace is something we all deserve. Thank you for being here. Take your time today. Be gentle. You're doing better than you think.